Hey guys, this is me, Kevin Murphy, on my channel called Narcissistic Abuse, Learning Who I Am Again. In this video, I want to talk about the difference between validation seeking versus seeking to share your sense of self in relationships. But before I get into today's topic, I want to apologize for the long lapse in videos. I've been so busy the last several weeks trying to get ready for the holidays, trying to get ready for school. A lot of work things have been coming up, so I just want to apologize for that. I actually also moved, and just that in itself was kind of chaotic, but I'm in a bigger place now, and I'm really liking the new place. I'm living in a townhouse now. I moved from a one-bedroom apartment and now living in a townhouse. I've been living here since the end of October. And really loving my neighbors, really loving life, and just been really getting things together with the new place. So, today I want to talk about how us survivors have a tendency to seek validation in our relationship with others. And I know that in previous videos I have talked about the importance of really giving ourselves that sense of validation and showing ourselves that we are worthy and that we have a lot to offer to other people. But when you come from a family system, or you've come out of a relationship believing that you're not good enough, you're not, you have nothing to offer to other people, we tend to get into this place of seeking validation from others. So I'm going to give you an example. So this time of year is a very rough time of year for me. Um, Thanksgiving, my birthday. I have a birthday tomorrow, and also Christmas. So every year around Thanksgiving, I I always time it perfectly. November the 26th is the day that I start feeling my pre-birthday blues. And pre-birthday blues is something that I call a sense of depression that happens right before my birthday. And I have dealt with this for probably over a decade now. So every year for the past 10 years on November the 26th, which is 6 days before my birthday, I experienced this huge heaviness and depression around that time. And I never really knew why I felt depressed every year on starting November the 26th, around my birthday. And that depression would usually last until maybe the day of or the day after my birthday, or even a couple of days after. But this year's pre-birthday blues was pretty interesting. And I just started kind of going more in depth of why do I feel so depressed around my birthday. And I feel that as a survivor myself, I feel that the reason why I possibly suffer with depression on my birthday is because of those nagging feelings of you're not good enough, you're bad, you're not worthy, you're not worthy of anyone celebrating you, you're not worthy of any of importance, you're not worthy of of anybody celebrating you. So every year around this time, within the week, the first 6 days of my birthday or so, 5 or 6 days before my birthday, I feel this sense of depression. I feel this sense of angst when this is supposed to be like the happiest time of your life, your birthday. This is the day that you've been given life. This is the day that you've been given, you know, the opportunity to share yourself with other people. But I allowed myself to dig deeper into the why that I feel depressed. And the why is relevant to today's topic. Every year on my birthday, I would always look for validation from other people, whether it's from my parents, whether it's from my grandmother, whether it's from my friends, whether it's from cousins, distant family, or whatever. So validation meaning that Every year on my birthday, I will look for people to bombard my wall with happy birthday posts, bombard my wall with uh, memorable pictures of how I've impacted their life and things like that. I would be looking for, a birthday card or some sort of validation that I meant something to someone. And when I wouldn't get it the way that I expected or the way that I wanted it, I would feel some I would feel a lot of angst and depression. So every year on around this time, I feel that depression from what I discovered the other day because of the expectations and the validation that I was seeking from other relationships. And, one of the things that was revealed to me while I was going through this pre birthday blues period is the fact that I need to stop looking for validation. I need to stop looking to have other people control the way I feel about myself. Even that original narcissist who would tell me that I deserved to be abused. I deserved to not have anything good. I deserved to have people make fun of me, tease me, or things like that. And I'm not sure if any of you viewers also just, go through pre-birthday blues yourself or have post-birthday blues or present birthday blues. I don't know what your story is, but I know for me, I realized something really profound these last couple of days. And one of the things that I've learned is that it is important for us to find ways to share ourselves in relationships. Because another thing the narcissist has taught you is the only way that you can feel and experience love is by constantly having people serve you, is by constantly having people stroke your ego and tell you how wonderful you are and tell you that you're worthy, that you're this, that you're that. Things that you should be telling yourself. These are the things that the narcissist has been grooming you to expect from other people. So when other people don't give you that validation, if other people don't give you that sense of belonging, you start seeking it from outside of yourself, and you start seeking different relationships that could be toxic, because that's another thing that the narcissist does. And that's what sets us up to get into relationships with other narcissistic people. So if I'm coming into a relationship empty and not knowing who I am, and I'm looking for someone else to validate me, that's where the narcissist will come in, and we start to attract those types of people. And so that narcissist will love bomb us. They will tell us everything that we want to hear. They'll say that we're the greatest, we're the greatest, we're all of those things to get us hooked in, to get us to let our guard down. And then once our guard is down, then they got their claws into us. They're able to manipulate us. They're able to control us with um, sometimes being nice, sometimes being not so nice. And those are things that we as survivors have to be careful of. And when we have a birthday coming up or when holidays are coming up, that message sometimes of us not being good enough is so loud and so piercing to the point where you damn near want to die. And so what I'm trying to say is it's important to find ways. It's important to try to find ways in how can I share myself with this person? How can I share myself with other people? Whether it's your birthday, whether it's Flag Day, whether it's George Washington's birthday, it doesn't matter what day it is. What can I do to share my life with someone? How can I share my life with other people? And look for ways to share your sense of self. So, for example, what I mean by that is figure out what your core strengths are. Are you funny? Do you like to cook? Or, what are your love languages? Is your love language quality time? Is your love language gifts? Is your love language words of affirmation? If those are your love languages, those are your God-given strengths. And God gave you those strengths. Now, a lot of my viewers may not believe in God, or may not may not have any religious affiliations or anything like that, and that's totally fine. I'm just sharing what's working for me. Me talking to you guys is my way of sharing the love that, the gifts that God has given to me. I am sharing my experiences. I am sharing the things that God has revealed to me, and the things that God is continuing to do in my life with you guys, so that way you guys can heal, because we're on this journey together. We are interdependent instead of codependent. We are we are we are whole alone, but we're better together. So it's with that mindset that will get that narcissist out of your head. And I think another thing too of why I suffered with pre-birthday blues is because, and maybe some of you, my viewers, suffer from this too, is that narcissist is constantly in your head. Oh, you're not good enough. Nobody gives a damn about you. Nobody's going to do anything for your birthday. Nobody's going to do so and so and so. And they're constantly nagging at your psyche and telling you all of these awful things about yourself. And what you have, the way to combat that negative voice in your head and in your psyche, is to focus on your strengths. Write down some core strengths that you have that you can offer to the world. So whenever that narcissist is in your head, you can go back to that list and say, no, I am not a piece of shit. No, I am not ugly. I am not awful. I am not selfish. These are all the things that the narcissist projected on me. But I know what I am. I am compassionate. I am giving. I am, I am funny. I do have a great sense of humor. I do love to travel. I do love to cook, and I do love to talk to people, and I do love to encourage others. I am an encourager. I am, I do have wonderful attributes. And the reason why I say write it down on a piece of paper, because there's times that when we're in the midst of listening to that narcissist gnaw on our psyche and tell us how horrible and how bad we are, we tend to forget all of those great things that God has blessed us with, which is the ability to be compassionate, the ability you know to know that we know how to cook, the ability to give words of affirmations. We stay stuck. We become crippled, and we become a shell of a person, because that's what they want us to do. They want us to continue to rely on them and on others to give us that sense of validation and that sense of importance. No, today is the day that changes. Today is the day where you recognize your worth. And the way to recognize your worth is recognizing your strengths. What are my core values? What are my core strengths that I can bring to the table, rather than my baggage, rather than my pain? And that's another thing that us survivors will unconsciously do. We will unconsciously bring our pain, our baggage, and our bitterness and unforgiveness into the relationships that we want, into healthy relationships that we want to maintain. And when those healthy people begin to either walk away from us and on an extreme level, or they distance themselves from us, then we're kind of perplexed and wondering, well, why are they leaving us? It's because we unconsciously start embracing all of those negative thoughts and um, all that negative energy that the narcissist has projected onto us. So what we do is we unconsciously project all of that negative energy that they projected onto us, onto the new people that are in our lives, onto the healthy relationships. And so you see that pattern. The narcissist sits there and emotionally vomits onto you. So what happens is you embrace that emotional vomit that from the narcissist, and then you start to emotionally vomit on someone else who is healthy, and then that pattern continues. It's an unhealthy it's an unhealthy situation. So what we have to do is identify what our core goals are. Recognize that the purpose of our relationship is not so that way is the purpose of our relationship is not for us to get validation, for people to have our back, or for people to tell us that we're good, or tell us the things that the narcissistic parent, didn't tell you as a child, or things like that. That is not your spouse's job. That's not your friend's job. That's not your cousin's job. That's not your auntie's job. That's not your uncle's job. It's your job to validate and tell yourself that I am good. I do have wonderful qualities. I do have redeeming qualities. Even though my narcissist failed to see my redeeming qualities, they are there. And the reason why they failed to see your redeeming qualities is because they themselves is busy listening to that tape. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to emotionally vomit all of their garbage onto you. And you got to not allow that to happen. And the way to not allow that to happen is by identifying what your core strengths are, identifying what makes you healthy, identifying what makes you what will strengthen a healthy relationship. Imagine yourself. What would a healthy relationship for me look like? How would I operate within a healthy relationship with a healthy person? And you think about those things. Sometimes even role playing certain situations in your mind of how would I be able to respond to, healthy conflict, healthy disagreements and things like that. Because those things happen in healthy relationships. But when we go into relationships looking for someone to validate us, when we go into relationships looking for someone to tell us that we're good and tell us all the things that we should be telling ourselves, then we're emotionally vomiting all of the projected crap that the narcissist has vomited onto us, onto the other person. And then so you start this sick pattern and this sick cycle that continues to manifest, and nobody's being glorified in the process. So the way to not and it continue to enable your narcissist is by is to and the way to shut those tapes up is to really say, no, I'm not stupid. No, I'm not selfish. No, I'm not a bitch. No, I'm not an asshole. No, I'm not any negative thing that narcissist has said about you. You're not any of those things. But you have to truly believe that. Sometimes you may even have to remind yourself several times in that day that this is what I am, and this is what I'm going to stay. I'm going to choose to believe all of these positive attributes in myself. And ladies and gentlemen, we all have flaws. I have flaws up the wazoo. We all have flaws. We all have things in our lives that we like to change. But at the end of the day, we have to accept ourselves for those positive attributes and the flaws as well. But what I want my viewers to focus on right now, especially those who have just gotten out of a narcissistic relationship or moved away from their narcissistic parents or things like that, is to focus on your positive attributes, because all your life or throughout the duration of that narcissistic relationship, all they did was remind you of how bad you are. They reminded you of your, whether it was your flaws or their flaws or whatever. It was all negativity. And so what you need to do is try to flush out all that negativity and replace that negativity with positive attributes, with positive adjectives about yourself. So that way, when you're feeling good, when you know who you are, you can go into that relationship, and instead of spewing all of that and vomiting all that nastiness that that narcissist has projected onto you, you are pushing that positive energy into your current relationships, and that way you guys are having a healthy relationship. So, validation is something that we should be giving to ourselves. Seeking approval is something that we should not be getting from someone else. It's a recipe for disaster. It's something that should not happen. But when we identify our core strengths and our core values and we share those with people, then that is really where the game changer comes in. So this was a semi-quick video on the difference between seeking validation versus sharing your sense of self and your positive core attributes in a relationship. Please stay tuned for more videos. If you have any video requests, please email me at kevinmurphy28@yahoo.com. My email address will be in the description box. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm going to do my best not to let a whole lot of time lapse between videos. I may make another video tomorrow. I may wait and make another video in a week or two. So anyway, please stay tuned for more videos. Even if you have any video requests or anything like that, I will do my best to make another video if you guys have any requests or any questions or anything like that. So I hope you guys have a great week and a wonderful Sunday night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.